I thought we could start this podcast today with a moment of silence for the death of Thomas Tuchel's career. Because it's it was it was only like a week or two ago that he has in fact been sacked by Chelsea and replaced.
Is he also lying in wait? He's in a casket. In a casket at Stamford Bridge, just waiting.
Yeah, surely. And starting out with the appointment of Graham Potter to Chelsea. How do you? What are your thoughts on that, Ash?
I quite like Graham Potter. I think he's a savvy manager. Obviously, what he's done with Brighton, he's taken, a lower squad, and they're consistently middle table now. Yeah, he deserves a chance at a big club, at a big six, or at European competition. Before we got Conte, I was a fan of him and would have liked to have him at Spurs. By the sounds of it, he's got a project at Chelsea to get on with. So,
yeah, well, this actually surprised me a lot. It's kind of very out of character for Chelsea to take a risk on a up and coming manager like this. I mean, aside from when they had Lampard, but generally they're always going to go for the big name. So
is this the change in ownership though? This is what this is though, eh?
I think you're right. Yeah, I think that there is a lot changing at Chelsea to do with football culture and all those kind of things as well. And so Graham Potter is kind of a sign of a big change. And I agree with you that I think Potter is an excellent tactician and he gets so much out of his players because maybe there's just this kind of negative perception against the Brighton team, but they're not regarded as being the best players around. But maybe sorry, go ahead.
They're not though, are they? Like they are they're good players, but he had them playing like a good manager gets players to play in a good system and get good results.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Yeah, you can have a team like PSG where it's best players and have a bad system and it doesn't work. So
yeah, well, that's kind of like, I mean, when Pochettino was at Chelsea, he wasn't. Oh, sorry, when Pochettino was at PSG, he was like the win wasn't just instant. You still have to have good tactics and things like that. Not saying he's necessarily bad, but it's not an automatic win. And Brighton definitely has some good players, but I think if anything, Potter sort of earned some more respect for those players because
the sum is better than some of its parts. Yeah,
I mean. Their goalkeeper, Robert Sanchez, this is a fantastic player. I actually think he's really good. And his system is a very English system too. There's so much emphasis on the fullbacks with the overlap and all those kind of things. Like the two most important positions in those teams are fullbacks.
Yeah. And obviously they sold one of their fullbacks and.
Wow, they made a ton. They made a ton of money on that signing, and because I think Cucurella is probably one of the best left backs in the league at the moment. Do you think there's who else would there be?
I think there's Gonzalo.
Oh, that's true.
I guess he's no longer even a fullback. He's just a midfielder.
He wears 7.
Yeah, stop putting the back four out on paper. It's not a back four anymore.
Yeah,
it's a back three. Just give up and say it's a back three.
Yeah, and it's funny too because he is right-footed too, so that's why I didn't think about Cancelo because I always think he was a right back. But I think this is a good move. He did have Graham Potter has had one match in charge, which was against I want to say Salzburg, and it was a 1-1 draw, which was sort of the same result as. Which I know. Well, I mean, Tuchel lost 1-0, but again, they didn't get that new manager bounce and just immediately fix the issues. I think there's some personnel issues at Chelsea too, because I was going on about how little depth they have for ages, and it's sort of coming to a head now. But I do think that Graham Potter, he does play a back three, but lately he seems to have been playing back four. So he might add a bit more balance. He might be able to organise these players in a bit of a better way.
Yeah. And yeah, it's going to take a while for those players to get used to him and how he wants to play. He typically defends from the front as well, which I don't think those Chelsea players really do a lot of. So that will be interesting to see how they implement that. Guy Havertz isn't going to be pressing a backline, chasing people down. So
yeah, you're kind of right. They have a lot of players like that. So
yeah, almost lazy, a lot of lazy without the ball players.
Yeah, because all their forwards are, it's Pulisic, Havertz, Sterling. They're not considered like big guys. I mean, Havertz is 6'2" or something, but like he's skinny, But they're not like pressers, not really.
No, they have the potential to be if they set up the right way, and it's like they've trained that way, then they can be very hard when they like to play against when they don't have the ball. They have enough pace in that team to be able to chase people down.
Yeah, definitely.
And again, they have great fullbacks. They're a solid midfield. Like,
yeah,
I just wonder if the reason Potter was keen to go was that he saw Brighton at their peak, and he could have seen it as we are now a selling club. We're just going to sell everyone.
Yeah.
This was his chance to get quality into a quality side that will improve each year with new signings and things.
Yeah, I think that's a good call because he definitely left at his peak. He got so much out of that squad, earned his move, and then you're right, they would have sold everyone, and he wouldn't have been given the resources to replace everyone immediately.
Yeah. They lost Basuma. They lost
Cucurella.
Like these are, even if you bring in somebody, you have to bring in somebody really good to replace these guys.
The guy Moises Caicedo has sort of taken over from Basuma, and he's looked great.
There is talk that he wants to follow Potter as well.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so like there's these players that are like could be keen to follow on. So.
Oh, one article I saw was actually quite funny. Was that Chelsea signed Denis Zakaria on loan in the deadline day, 6 hours from the end of deadline day, and apparently he signed specifically because he wanted to play with Tuchel.
Oh,
unlucky.
Yeah, poor bastard.
Yeah, like he packed up his whole life in 6 hours before the deadline day. Like, didn't even know about the move until that day.
Yeah.
To go play with the manager he wants to play with, and he gets replaced. But if anything, yeah, that's actually what he says. He says, football moves fast, so what can you do? And it's actually kind of good because it means that he actually has a chance to cement a position in the squad, because there was no way there's no way Tuchel's going to drop Jorginho or Kante or whatever. He sort of was, he likes, he liked his team. He always picked the same kind of team.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited for Graham Potter. I think good manager overall, and it'd be good to see like where he can go with it.